In 2013, I was diagnosed with transverse myelitis at the age of 13 years old. And about 6 months ago was my 10-year anniversary, and I made a 10-year recovery video. And some people have reached out to me with TM and they've asked me for specific advice in what I did to recover. So I'm going to share that with you today. Before we start, I just want to say that I'm not 100% recovered from transverse myelitis, and in fact, I've never met anyone else who is. My biggest struggles to this day is dealing with fatigue. I get tired so easily and I have to sleep all the time, and it drives me insane. I also suffer from clonus and have oversensitive reflexes.
That's the worst I've ever seen it.
And the last problem I still face is that I can't feel my entire left leg. Well, I can feel it, but I don't feel like sensations such as pain or hotness or coldness. But I do believe I've had an amazing recovery. And I'm not saying that to boast, I'm not saying that to get validation. I'm saying that for everyone out there, that it is possible and you can recover a lot more than what you think you can. I was told I was never gonna have a normal life. I was told I was never gonna walk again. I was told so many things, and yet I proved the doctors wrong. I was paralyzed from the shoulders all the way down to the feet, and now I'm doing handstand push-ups. I also want to emphasize that this journey was not easy and it took a lot of determination. I also believe that with how much of a good of a recovery I've had, I'm obligated to make this video. Mindset. The first thing you need to do is genuinely believe in yourself and absolutely believe that you'll return to a normal life. When I was first paralyzed, I got told I was never going to walk again. When I heard this, I blocked it throughout both ears and I took it personally. I took it like it was a genuine insult when the doctor said you were never going to walk again. I took that as, watch me. I was so petty about it. I was kind of delusional. I genuinely didn't want to believe in it, and I believe that helped me in order to recover. I was in hospital for 32 days and the doctor said afterwards that I'm going to need a wheelchair to get around. I said no. They said I need to be in crutches. Again, I said no. I literally told my mum that I will crawl around on my hands and knees before I use anything to assist me. Now, I know that's pretty extreme and I don't expect everyone to relate or think like that, but it's to go to show that the mind controls the body, and if you kind of be, I guess, delusional in a way, if you genuinely reject the idea of being paralyzed, I believe you can get a better recovery. Even though I was depressed when I was paralyzed, I told myself over and over and over again that I was going to walk again. And just to let everyone know, it is completely normal and acceptable if you are suffering from TM. There were times where I was doing basic exercises in order to recover, but I was ending up in tears and crying so much because I couldn't do these basic things. And that frustrated me so much, just looking down at my body and not being able to do the things that my mind wanted it to. But you have to remain strong and keep pushing forward. And unfortunately with TM, you have no other option. So let's get into the hands. When I was first paralyzed, one of the most frustrating things ever was having curled hands. I had curled hands like this. My fingers were curled like that. Oh, that drove me crazy. So here are some exercises that can help you improve your hand strength and your movement.
Get some putty and start rolling around with it and making shapes. It may look simple, but the point of this is to get the tiny muscles in your hands moving. Stretching the fingers back just like this also helps with flexibility, and you can also try to touch your thumb with each finger on the same hand. When I was in hospital, the doctors used an electric muscle stimulator which forced my muscles to contract, but I don't believe this helped much as I wasn't in full control. You also want to try to do the things you were doing before you were paralyzed. For instance, I played video games and I really struggled to press the buttons again when I was recovering, but after taking small steps, I gradually over time was able to play properly again. After I saw improvement, I also started to try new things that I'd never done before to try to get more muscles working. I tried learning songs on the keyboard, and I also learned how to solve the Rubik's Cube. I recommend trying to do something every day, no matter how small it is. Getting back into everyday habits helped a lot as well, such as doing up zippers, buttons, and shoelaces. Opening jars or using cutlery. Writing and drawing also helped, and even just lifting weights at 1 or 2 kilos. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Another very crucial exercise I did was swimming. Swimming helps the entire body, but it helped my hands significantly because I was pushing the fingers against the water, which helped my strength and mobility in them. My father also used to throw a coin at the bottom of the pool, and I would try to swim under and pick it up over and over and over again.
As for the legs and feet, I found that the best way to recover was just to move them as much as possible.
I tried walking as much as I could, and every time I would try to push further in terms of distance before getting tired. Always have someone with you, as they can help for motivation and they can also assist you if you need it. A good way to improve the leg strength as well is to do squats even if they're assisted. Another exercise I used to do was to slowly stand up from a chair, because if you swing up and use momentum, you don't activate the leg muscles.
Here are some exercises that can help multiple groups of the body at once. Again, remember to try and do things that you were doing before you were paralyzed.
Now, I was very lucky to have dancing as a passion prior to getting TM, as a lot of my recovery came from muscle memory, and dancing requires stamina, strength, and flexibility. Now, I'm not suggesting for everyone to go and start breakdancing, but try to get back into the physical activities that you used to do, as muscle memory is going to be a key factor in your recovery. For example, if you used to play football, try just throwing the ball and then work your way back up by hand passing it and then eventually kicking it. Stretching also helped me massively. I couldn't recommend stretching enough, as this helped my body to stop shutting down. You can also try massage therapy. Massaging the muscles helps keeps them stimulated. I use a rolling pin. Meditation is something I've started recently in the last 6 months, but I wish I started it 10 years ago because I feel more sensation in my body and I feel way better after it.
Now, as for the pain, I don't really have specific advice from recovering from nerve pain. However, it did go away slowly over time with the more exercise I did. I also used to be on a medication called gabapentin, I think, and that helped reduce nerve pain, but over time I try to take less and less of it. I also still get chest pain from waking up from sleep, and I don't really have anything to say about that. I kind of just deal with it. Next up is the bladder, and yes, I'm going there because I'm trying to help as many people as I can. A very good exercise for the bladder was when you go to the toilet, you start and then you stop and you try to hold it in, and then you start again and then you stop again, and you just try to control it. This very exercise was the reason I was able to get off the catheter. I also want to add a couple of other things to this video because I'm trying to add as much value as I can. Do not concentrate on your problems, concentrate on what you can do with your life now. Do not dwell in the future because otherwise you'll be stuck thinking about it over and over and over. And I've spent many nights that I wish I just went to bed and stopped caring about where I was going to be. If you don't have transverse myelitis but you know someone close to you that does, here are a few things that you can do to try to help them. I encourage you to get them out the house and get involved with as many activities as you can. Early on into being paralyzed, my parents took me to a waterfall, and I remember I was so angry at them when they said they were taking me out their house because I was so frustrated with my fatigue. I was already tired and I had constant nerve pain back then. Looking back now, I'm very thankful that they did force me out the house because it's good to get out the house when you have this kind of condition. It's good to just move on and to not think about it all the time. So I'm very thankful for my parents. At the time, I was so angry at them, but looking back, I couldn't have thanked them anymore. Also, if you're dealing with someone with TM, never take it personally when they're in a bad mood because they're constantly dealing with fatigue and nerve pain. So when they're angry, it's not personal. They're just very frustrated with their own body. Again, when I was younger, my parents understood where I was coming from and they let me have my tantrums and they didn't take it personally. They were just like, Jack's in his, zone or mood, so they just let it go. Another thing that could help you mentally and physically is a pet. A couple of months after being paralyzed, my parents got me a dog and he boosted my mood so much. He would jump into my bed in the morning and lick me on the face, and it made me so much happier from where I was. Also, going on walks with him and throwing him a tennis ball helped me physically and mentally, and it didn't feel forced. With a lot of rehab exercises, it can feel forced, but I found when I was playing with my dog, I was recovering and it didn't feel like, oh, I am doing exercises. My problems didn't matter because I was so distracted with playing with the dog as opposed to, doing my exercises and all that. My dog was a very good distraction as he made me forget about most of my problems when I was playing with him growing up. Over the years as well, I've also found out that my body works better when it's warm. And to this day, when I'm cold, especially in the winter, my body shuts down a lot more and my fingers begin to curl again. I also went to New Zealand about 2 years ago, and I definitely noticed that in the snow, my body did not work as well as when it's warm. Now, I hope this video helps just at least one person, whether it's an exercise they didn't know or motivation, because I've met people with TM and they're so happy and innocent and more positive than me. And there are days where I'm like, do I deserve this good of a recovery? Do I really deserve to be where I'm at? I'm so harsh on myself and where I'm at, and I still get frustrated with the things I can't do, even though I should be really grateful. They're so innocent at times, and a lot of them are children, and yeah, I wish I could help them. And that's why I'm here to make this video, because I want to start helping people. In the future, I probably will make another video in terms of more exercises because I tried thinking of a lot of things I did. It was 10 years ago now, and a lot of it was trauma. So yeah, I'll try my best to help people in the future and make more videos with TM or how to deal with it, etc. So if anyone has a question, leave it down below and I'll definitely answer it because I want to try to help as many people as I can, and just relating to people, it can feel better. So anyone out there, you're not alone. It sucks to go through TM, but it will get better, 100%. Even if you don't accept it, I'm telling you right now, it will get better. I hope you enjoyed.